Namaste. Today's video is on the yoga way of life. Students have come to our trainings and have said they want to learn the yoga lifestyle or the yoga way of life. Beyond even being a yoga teacher, that's what they're there to learn. And I like to use way of life, the yoga way of life, as opposed to lifestyle. And the reason is mainly because way of life, the word way has the connotations of like a spiritual and ethical journey versus style. Lifestyle tends to sound not so much with those connotations, with those meanings. So let's say way of life. And I'm gonna read partly from my notes here. I put together 18 points, and the number 18 is important. 18, both in Hinduism and in Judaism, is symbolic of life. And 18 is like this magic number. And as you know, in yoga and Hinduism, 108 is also a very important number. So 18 is like that. It's just 18 as opposed to 108. So let's start with the first one being your conscious intention. That you start this whole process with, I want to learn. I'm open to learning, and I don't know everything, and I really want to learn. I want to heal. I want to maybe even be enlightened, or I want to be self-realized, or whatever it may be. But you start with that strong intention, which is really critical to this whole process, is that you're making an intention. You're setting, you're opening to change. Okay? Second one is this core principle that we know in yoga as Ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-harm, non-injury, non-violence. And the way that I look at it is that we're trying to harm less. Not be completely harmless, because that's almost impossible for most of us. Even just sitting here in the grass, I might be harming some creatures I don't even know. Breathing, I'm harming, I'm killing. So we want to harm less, and we can think about it in terms of the golden rule expressed negatively as opposed to positively. Positively, it's do unto others as you would have them do to you. And negatively, it's don't do to others as you would not have done to yourself. So at the very least, we don't want to harm. Even if we can't help others, actively help them, we can at least not harm them. So that's Ahimsa, all right? Next one is yoga ethics. So Ahimsa really is the first ethical principle of yoga, and then we abide by the other ethical principles of yoga. I'm not going to go into all of them right now, but essentially we act ethically, even if we get to a place on our journey where we realize that good and evil, right and wrong are just constructs, they're just concepts, and really there is no good or evil or right or wrong. But still, even if we get to that place, we will still act ethically as a role model to others. But it's very important, especially at the beginning, that we abide by the ethical principles of yoga. Next one, number 4 that I have written here is yoga teaches, I am not my body, but I do have a body. As long as I think that I have a body, and I think that I'm here, and I think that this is all real, then I will treat my body with respect. And Ahimsa, I will not harm my body. I will not try to harm my body in any way. And I will start to become more conscious of that. Number 5, accentuate the positive. I will let go of the negative thinking, and I will replace the negative thoughts with positive, and the negative thought patterns I will try to replace with positive. And in the Yoga Sutras, that's called Pratipaksha Bhavanam, which means replacing negative with positive. Okay? again, this is all part of the bigger picture of the yoga way of life that I'm trying to present here. Connected to that, and Ahimsa is yogic diet. Yogic diet has the idea that causing, not harming animals and not eating animals will actually do good things for my awareness, consciousness, and it will decrease my karma. But I also want to say that some yogis consciously choose not to be vegetarian or vegan, and that brings us to the next point, which is non-judgment. And I really think of non-judgment as one of the most important principles of all of these. And I want to tell just a short joke, which is, there's a Native American saying, do not judge another until you've walked a mile in their moccasins. And the reason for that is because then you'll be a mile away from them and you'll have their moccasins. But anyway, but letting go of the judgment of others, the way other people do things, their path in life, we look at them and we refrain from judgment. Okay? Because we start to realize that judging them is judging ourselves in some level. Number 8 of this list of 18 points that I had written for the yoga way of life. Number 8 is keeping good company. That means that we remove ourselves from situations, from people, from events that are not in our best interest or not helping. And we seek out the company of those who are wiser, those who we can learn from, and those who are will be helpful for our growth. But there may come a time where you can be with anyone in any situation and your mind does not get disturbed, and you see it, you begin to see everything really as the same. And so that, we're just talking really at the beginning of your journey. You are seeking out good company and removing yourself from bad company. Number 9, strive to eliminate fear-based thinking. Fear-based thinking is, you could say, the thinking that the world is based on. It's the thinking that we get from media, from the news. We hear a lot of things: judgments, rumors, negative press, negative news, negative stories. And if we look at our minds, we notice that most, if not, no, I don't want to say all, but most of our thinking, when we really start to look at our mind, is negative until we make a conscious decision to make it positive. So we start to eliminate thinking that is fear-based, that is based in fear, and we embrace the thinking that is based in love. Like, all is perfect, all is in perfect divine order, and I am learning. Everything that I receive in my life is a lesson, and it may be a hard lesson, but it's a lesson that I probably need to learn. Okay. Next one, number 10, question everything. So going to the last one, we hear a lot of negative things. We hear about horrible things that happen. We hear stories upon stories. We hear theories. We hear, they could be good and bad. And it's good to question everything. And even question our own beliefs and our own thinking, our own thoughts, even our core beliefs, and even the things that we're not supposed to question, but question. Next one is conscious breathing, breathing through our nose, breathing more consciously, and nostril breathing is I would say, is a very core principle of the yoga way of life. Number 12, we start to learn to respond versus react. So instead of instead of reacting to things, like someone gets mad at you and you immediately get mad back at them, or you react to a situation, like something triggers you and you get paralyzed with fear or paralyzed with worry or whatever, you learn to step back, take a breath, and be reasonable and tune into your inner reason, your natural, innate reason. Next one is connected to that, taking the attitude of the witness. Taking the attitude of the witness means stepping back and observing, learning to observe the mind, observe the thoughts, and realize that we are not our thoughts. We are not our mind, we are not our thoughts, and we can choose what thoughts that we want to follow. Okay? Number 14 of the 18 principles I have is integrating the paths. There's, you could say, 6 main paths of yoga. There's bhakti, the devotional path. There's raja, the meditative path. There's karma, selfless action, selfless service. There's dhyana, which is the intellectual or the discriminative path of the philosophical path. There's tantra, the path of ritual. And then there's hatha yoga, which is the path of working with the body, transcendence through the body. And the principle that I'm talking about here is integrating these different parts into a whole, so that we become more of a whole person, whole and integrated person ourselves. Okay, that's a whole subject for another time, but that's the point. And number 15, discovering your own unique life path. Maybe you are meant to be a yoga teacher, but maybe your path in life is different. Maybe you are meant to be whatever. You haven't even discovered it yet, but yoga principles can help you discover what you're here to do. And as you let go of the fear, you realize, oh, I could do anything. So, but what am I really good at, and what do I really have a passion for? And then that's what you do, and you end up gracing the world with your gifts. Okay? Yoga as a life practice and a practice for life. Yoga is really a lifelong practice. It does take practice. Daily practice really is best. Moment-to-moment practice is even better. And you just keep practicing, and you don't pretend that you're there, all the way there, when maybe you're not. So you got to be honest, right? Next one, almost done. Number 17, memento mori. It means remembering that your days are numbered. Remember that you are mortal and that you will die. One day you will have to pass on. And so you remember that as a practice. And you start to see that yoga is both a preparation for life, and it's also a preparation for dying. Finally, we have, above all, kindness for all, compassion, forgiveness. Those are really the most important things. And we learn that how we see others and how we talk to others and how we treat others is really how we treat ourselves on some deep mystical level. So it goes back to the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do to you, because they are you, you are them. And thank you so much. That was the 18 principles that I wrote down today for the yoga way of life. Thank you for watching. It was what it had to be in the moment. I know I was rushing, but thank you for listening. Namaste.